sugar-free friends. Are you ready to have a little fun today? I'm Carolyn from All Day I Dream About Food, and today I'm going to show you how to make sugar-free marshmallows. If you've never made your own sugar-free marshmallows, you're going to be amazed at how easy the process actually is. It only takes a handful of ingredients and it whips up in a matter of moments. Now you do still need some patience because you have to let them set and then you have to let them dry out overnight. However, once they're done, you have some delicious sugar-free marshmallows to play with. Now I will tell you that this is a time-sensitive process. Once you start going on it, you got to work pretty quickly. So the first thing you want to do is prepare your pan. I have here an 8 by 8 inch pan, and I'm going to spray a little avocado oil spray into it to help some paper stick to the bottom. Now I'm going to take some wax paper and press it firmly into the bottom of my pan. By putting a little spray in the bottom before I put the paper in, it sticks better. And now I also need to spray the paper itself. Now, the easiest way to make your marshmallows is in a stand mixer fitted with a whisk attachment. If you don't have this, you can do it with a regular hand mixer. That works too. It's just going to take a little longer. So I have here a cup of water and I'm going to put half of it into my stand mixer. And then I have 2.5 tablespoons here of grass-fed gelatin. I am using Great Lakes gelatin. It's the one in the orange can, and it works perfectly for these marshmallows. So we'll just sprinkle that over our water and let it bloom for a few minutes. The next step is to make a hot syrup with the remaining water and some sweetener. Now, I personally like to use 2 different sweeteners in this because I think it gives the marshmallows the best consistency. So I use Swerve for half of it, and I also use Boca Sweet for the other half. If you can't get Boca Sweet, you can also try allulose or xylitol. So we'll add the rest of our water to the pan. I'll put in 2/3 cup Boca Sweet, 2/3 cup Swerve sweetener. Then we add 1/8 teaspoon of cream of tartar. This helps the marshmallows puff up and hold their shape. And then a little pinch of salt to help offset the sweetness. And you just want to whisk everything together, and you're going to bring it to a boil. So once your mixture is boiling, you actually want to test the temperature. You can do that with an instant read thermometer like this one, or with a candy thermometer that you clip to the side. But you basically want the mixture to reach about 235 to 240. And once it does, you're ready to go to the next step. So once your syrup is at temperature, you want to turn your mixer on to low, and then you're going to slowly drizzle the syrup in. And once you've drizzled in all the syrup, you want to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You could also do peppermint extract if you want. Okay, this is where the fun starts, and you got to work quickly. We're going to turn up the speed, and we're going to wait for our mixture to become voluminous and white, but still liquid. One thing I recommend, and I hope you can hear me over this, is keeping your hand on the bowl and testing the temperature. You want it to get to lukewarm, and you'll be able to tell on the outside of the bowl. Okay guys, we're almost there, not quite, but you can see that it is expanded and it's whiter, and you want it to kind of not hold stiff peaks, but fall in ribbons away from the beater when it's ready. And I think we're good. Now, the point is you don't want it to reach stiff peaks because then you won't be able to spread it in your pan. So now you need to work quickly and get it into the pan before it cools and starts to firm up. Pour it into your pan. See how white and thick that is and how it's pouring in? Okay. So you want to spread that in your pan, and you can see just as it's starting to cool how much it's starting to thicken up. Now, if by chance you took it a little too far and it starts to firm up in the bowl and you can't spread it, there is a rescue. You can put it all back in the bowl and set the bowl over a pan of gently simmering water and gently rewarm it, stirring pretty consistently until it liquefies again. Then you can spread it back in your pan. So this is where the patience part comes in. Now you need to let this pan sit for 6 to 8 hours until it firms up. When you touch the top, it shouldn't be tacky anymore. You can see it right now, it's pretty tacky and some of it's sticking to my fingers. So of course, I don't want to wait 6 to 8 hours to finish this video, so I made a little half batch yesterday. I did it in a loaf pan, and I'm going to show you how to finish them off. So we'll just take our whole thing of wax paper right out of the pan, and now you can cut them up. You can just cut them into squares with a sharp knife, or you can use something fun like a cookie cutter to get some fun shapes out of them. So I'm just going to cut mine into squares with a knife, but one thing I recommend is heating the knife up before you do it. I heated mine over the flame of my gas stove, but you can run it under hot water too. It'll just make them cut more smoothly. And once you've cut them all up in the shapes that you want to cut them into, you want to dust them with powdered sweetener. So I have some powdered swerve here, and I'm just going to dust them all over on all sides. Okay, you guys, you can see here I have a lovely sugar-free marshmallow. It feels like the real thing, but I'm going to tell you this is where the second patience part comes in. They're even better if you separate them all up and leave them exposed to the air overnight. They dry out a little and they become even more like real marshmallows. But if you're really dying to, you're free to go and enjoy some right now. Tasty. And that, my friends, is how you make your own sugar-free marshmallows. Now, what are you going to do with them all? Well, I have some ideas for you. You can cut them up and put them in keto Rocky Road fudge. You can bake them into my keto Mississippi bars. You can drop them in hot chocolate, which my kids love to do. You can dip them in chocolate, that's delicious too. Or you can just eat them on their own. For this delicious keto recipe and so many more, please check out alldayidreamaboutfood.com.